Good morning, students. Standard 10, subject social science, that economics, chapter 3, topic food security and nutrition. Learning objectives: to study about the meaning, definition, and food security, to know about the availability and access to food grains, to understand about the purchasing power and agricultural policy, to gain knowledge about the multidimensional nature of poverty, to study about nutrition and health status and policies in Tamil Nadu. Let us see the introduction. Food is defined as any substance that people eat and drink to maintain life and growth. Food security would denote a person's ability to eat enough, stay active, and lead a healthy life. Food security and nutrition. The United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization defines food security as follows. Food security exists when all people at all times have physical, social, and economic access to sufficient, safe, and nutritious food which meets their dietary needs and food preferences for an active and healthy life. Food and Agricultural Organization 2009 it's given this statement. So while this comprehensive definition highlights the need for food to be nutritious, ஆரோக்கியமான ஃபுட்டா இருக்கணும். In addition to that, there are certain other aspects that are required to achieve nutrition security. According to eminent agricultural scientist Dr. M.S. Swaminathan, nutrition security is physical, economic, and social access to a balanced diet, safe drinking water, environmental hygiene, primary health care, and primary education. It is necessary for the food security. Basic components of food and nutrition security. First, it is fats. So from the cheese and then flesh of animals we can get it, and proteins, milk, chicken, and egg, meat, everything. Then vitamins and minerals, all types of fruits and vegetables, carbohydrates, grains, and cereals. So if we eat enough, ability to eat enough, we can stay active and lead a healthy life. Availability of food is the physical availability of food stocks in desired quantities, which is a function of domestic production, changes in stocks, and imports. Then access to food is primarily a matter of purchasing power and is therefore closely linked with the capabilities and employment opportunities to earn. Capabilities and opportunities in turn are related to one's access to assets and education. Absorption. Absorption of food is the ability to biologically utilize the food consumed. Availability and access to food grains. Thus, food security for people in a country is not only dependent on quantum of food available, but also on the ability of people to purchase or access food and to stay in appropriate healthy environment. Just as other developmental issues, food security of people is also related to a country's overall development process. After independence, India chose to adopt a planned developmental model, that is to developing the agricultural crops. After an initial focus on agriculture, industrialization was given priority. The recurrent droughts experienced by India pushed her to be dependent on imports of food grains. However, the available foreign exchange reserve could not permit open market purchases and import of grains. So India had to plead for food grains from richer countries at concessional rates. United States of America extended assistance through its Public Law 480, that is PL 480 scheme to India during early 1960s. High yielding varieties of seeds. That is, a growing country with a massive population was perceived to be a potential candidate for revolution. The American administration and philanthropic organization which means a rich organization helps the poor countries. Like Ford Foundation formulated a plan to increase food production in the country by introducing high yielding varieties HYV of wheat and rice. So உயர் ரக விதைகள் அப்படின்னு தமிழில் சொல்லுவோம். This program was implemented in selected cities, districts where irrigation was assured. The results were promising and the program was extended to a larger number of districts. Thus, Green Revolution was born in country, paving way for self-sufficiency in food grain production. Increased food grain production was made possible by an increased area cultivated with HYV of rice and wheat, as also increase in the yield of these major cereal crops. Yield means to produce lot, provide crops and more food grains. Yield means magasul, Tamil. And area under food grains was a little more than 98 million hectares during early 1950s. The country was producing just 54 million tons of food grains then, with an average yield of food grains of 547 kg per hectare. So the food situation has steadily improved over a period of 65 years. Area under food grain cultivation has grown to 122 million hectares with an increase of 5-fold increase in food grain production. Yield of food grains has increased 4-fold between the time of independence at the present. This growth in food grain production was made possible by the HYV program, which was implemented as a package. Apart from introducing fertilizer responsive high yielding varieties of rice and wheat, it ensured the availability of subsidized chemical fertilizers for the farmers. Cheaper farm credit was disbursed to farmers through cooperative banks and societies. Minimum support price MSP for the crops were announced at the beginning of the season, and the state procured and harvested grains through the Food Corporation of India FCI. So the FCI has built huge storage godowns and built buffer stocks to food grain during the harvest season to be distributed all through the year. Minimum support price. Minimum support price is a price fixed by an expert group of a particular crop by considering various costs involved in the cultivation of that crop. After announcing the MSP, the state will open procurement centers. That means to collecting the cropping centers in places where these crops are widely grown. So however, the farmers are free to sell in the open market if they get a better price for their crop produce. On the other hand, if the open market price is lower than the MSP, the farmers would get an assured price by selling their produce to the FCI, Food Corporation of India. The rapid increase in food grain production was accompanied by appropriate technical interventions in the dairy, poultry and fisheries sectors. As a result, the milk production in the country witnessed an 8-fold increase. Egg production grew 40-fold and fish production by 13-fold between the time of independence and the mid-2000s. However, India could not succeed in attaining self-sufficiency in the production of pulses and oilseeds. Therefore, India depends on imports to meet the requirement of people. Public distribution system. Tamil Nadu has adopted an universal PDS. The rest of the states in India had a targeted PDS. Under universal PDS, all the family ration cards holder are entitled to the supplies from PDS. In the targeted PDS, the beneficiaries are identified based on the certain criteria and given their entitlements, leaving out the rest. Both the union and the state governments subsidize the supplies distributed through PDS, public distribution system. The level and quantum of subsidy also varied across states. Then subsequently, the National Food Security Act NFSA was passed by the Indian Parliament in 2013. The NFSA covers 50% of urban households and 75% of the rural households. These households are known as the priority households, identified based on a set of criteria. Priority households of this country now have the right to food supply through PDS, Public Distribution System. The Union government supplies rice at the rate of rupees 3 per kg, wheat at the rate of rupees 2 per kg, and millets at the rate of rupees 1 per kg under NFSA. Then Tamil Nadu continues to have the universal system of PDS and supplies of rice at free cost to all card holders. National Food Security Act in Tamil Nadu. On 1st November 2016, National Food Security Act was implemented in Tamil Nadu after holding out of 3 years. Role of consumer cooperatives in food security. Consumer cooperatives play an important role in the supply of quality goods at responsible rates to common people. There is a three-tier structure of consumer cooperative societies in India. They are the primary consumer cooperative societies and central consumer cooperative stores and state-level consumer federations. More than 50,000 village-level societies are engaged in the distribution of consumer goods in rural areas. This scheme is playing an important role in food security in India. For example, out of all fair price shops running in Tamil Nadu, around 94% are being run by cooperatives. Buffer stock. Buffer stock is a stock of food grains, namely wheat and rice, procured by the government through the Food Corporation of India (FCI). The FCI purchases wheat and rice from the farmers in states where there is surplus production. அளவுக்கு அதிகமாக ப்ரொடக்ஷன் இருக்கும்போது farmers will sell the production into the Food Corporation of India. So the farmers are paid in a pre-announced price for their crops. This price is called minimum support price. The MSP is declared by the government every year before the sowing season to provide incentives to farmers for raising the production of these crops. The purchased food grains are stored in granaries. So buffer stock is done to distribute food grains in the deficit areas and among the poorer strata of the society at a price lower than the market price, also known as the issue price. So this also helps resolve the problem of shortage of food during adverse weather conditions or during the periods of calamity. Any flood or famine, that time our government will use the food grains from the buffer stock. Purchasing power. Purchasing power is the value of a currency expressed in terms of the amount of goods or services that one unit of money can buy. Price increases, purchasing power declines, and vice versa. Then factors affecting purchasing power. First, it is the overpopulation. The population growth rate in India is high as 1.7 per thousand. Large population leads to increasing demand, but supply was not equal to the demand. So the normal price level will be going on higher. So it is affect purchasing power, especially in rural population. Then second point, it is increasing prices of essential goods. Then third, demand for goods. Fourth, it is price of goods affect the value of currency. Fifth, production and supply of goods. Sixth, poverty and inequality. Agricultural policy in India. The new agricultural policy based on export of agricultural goods was announced by the central government in 2018. This policy states that the government has decided to remove export restrictions on most organic and processed agricultural products. Agricultural policy of a country is mostly designed by the government for raising agricultural production and productivity and also for raising the level of income and standard of living of farmers within a definite time frame. This policy is formulated for all around and comprehensive development of the agricultural sector. The following are some of the important objectives of India's agricultural policy. First, it is raising the productivity of inputs, raising the value added per hectare, then protecting the interest of poor farmers, modernizing agricultural sector, environmental degradation, then removing bureaucratic obstacles. Multidimensional nature of poverty. So the Multidimensional Poverty Index MPI was launched by the United Nations Development Programme and the Oxford Poverty Human Development Initiative in 2010. The basic philosophy and significance of MPI is that it is based on the idea that poverty is not unidimensional and that is rather than multidimensional. Multidimensional Poverty Index 2018 report in Tamil Nadu. Over the last decade, Tamil Nadu has made a significant progress in poverty reduction. The districts in Tamil Nadu are classified into three categories, namely high poverty districts, more than 40% of population living below poverty line, moderately poor district 30% to 40%, and low level poverty district below 30%. After 1994, poverty has declined steadily in both the rural and urban areas of Tamil Nadu, and the state has a smaller share of India's poor relative to its population. Nutrition and health status. Status of nutrition. We noted earlier that food security includes nutrition security too. So though our country has reached self-sufficiency in food production, the nutrition status of the population has not seen corresponding levels of improvement. In 2015 to 16, 27% of the rural women and 16% of the urban women in the age group of 15 to 49 years were counted as undernourished or chronically energy deficient by the National Family Healthy Survey. The Government of Tamil Nadu policy for a malnutrition-free Tamil Nadu guides the state's long-term multi-sectoral strategy for eliminating malnutrition. The goal is reducing human malnutrition of all types to the levels of best performing countries. In Tamil Nadu, ICDS is being implemented through 54,439 child centers comprising 49,499 Anganwadi centers and 4,940 mini Anganwadi centers in 434 child development blocks, with steady expansion into unreached areas, increasing coverage of marginalized groups, enhanced allocations and enlarged scope of services. ICDS is now considered to be one of the world's largest programs of its kind. The PTMGR-NMP, that is considered to be the largest noon meal program in the country for combating malnutrition among children, increasing primary school enrollment and reducing dropout rates. Other states in the country have modeled their noon meal program along the lines of Tamil Nadu's pioneering efforts. That is the Puratchi Thalaivar MGR Nutritious Meal Program in Tamil Nadu are considered as one of the best in the country. The Tamil Nadu has played a pioneering role in the bringing about significant changes in the health and nutrition status of children under 6 years of age, pregnant women, lactating mothers and adolescent girls. Some nutrition programs in Tamil Nadu: Puratchi Thalaivar MGR Nutrition Meal Program, National Program of Nutritional Support to Primary Education, General ICDS projects and World Bank assisted Integrated Child Development Services, Pradhan Mantri Gramodaya Yojana Scheme, Tamil Nadu Integrated Nutrition Program, Midday Meal Program. See the short video on the nutrition and health status of Tamil Nadu.
Nutrition and health. Though our country has reached self-sufficiency in food production, the nutrition status of the population has not seen corresponding levels of improvement. In 2015 to 2016, 27% of the rural women and 16% of the urban women were counted as undernourished or chronically energy deficient by the National Family Health Survey. More than half of the women in the reproductive age group in both rural and urban India were anemic in 2015 to 2016. In India, in 2015 to 2016, about 20% of the children in rural and urban India are estimated to be underweight. The level of child undernutrition remains unacceptable throughout the world. The major nutritional problems are protein energy malnutrition, vitamin A deficiency, iron deficiency anemia, and iodine deficiency. Despite recent achievement in economic progress in India, the fruit of development has failed to secure a better nutritional status of children in the country. Nutrition plays a crucial role in human health and well-being. A large number of Indian children are stunted. A substantial number of Indian children and women are underweight, anemic, and suffer from micronutritional deficiencies. To address these concerns, the central and state government has been channelizing substantial resources into various health and nutrition schemes and programs like Integrated Child Development Series, Midway Meals, Reproductive and Child Health Programs. Integrated Child Development Services is a government program in India which provides food, preschool education, primary health care, immunization, health checkup, and referral services to children under 6 years of age and their mother. Anganwadi centers established mainly in rural areas and staffed with frontline workers. In addition to fighting malnutrition and ill health, the program is also intended to combat gender inequality by providing girls the same resources as boys. In Tamil Nadu, ICDS is being implemented through 54,439 child centers in 434 child development blocks. The program has been universalized and convergence promoted with allied departments dealing with health, education, drinking water, sanitation, etc. The PTMG-RNMP is considered to be the largest noon meal program in the country for combating malnutrition among children, increasing primary school enrollment, and reducing dropout rates.